What never to put beneath your eyes. What muscle am I talking about? Why do I say this is better than Botox? The under $10 solution that I'm telling you today does something similar to this. Now, before I tell you the solution under $10, let me tell you a free one, a change I make for my patients in my clinic and send them home with nothing and they get better. Let's fix crepey under eye skin today at home, and let's do it inexpensively. What do you think? Under $15, maybe even less. And what I'll tell you today, you can use some of this information also, I know, for the upper eyes and eyelids. People are concerned about that area. Why do I say this is better than Botox? Well, Botox under the eye can actually do three very bad things. Number one, atrophy or shrink an important muscle called the orbicularis oculi. And this depletes volume when you lose the volume that the muscle took up in this area. So we are clear on what atrophy is. Check out this picture. You see the arm muscle or the bicep muscle on the left, it's bigger. Let's say you had an injury, your arm was in a cast, or let's say you just stopped going to the gym, or just as we simply age, we lose some muscle, cachexia, where you see the muscle on the right would take up less volume. Less volume beneath the eye is a hollow. Just to be clear, that is the exact intent of Botox injections. Slow the muscle down, and by doing so, inadvertently, of course, you get atrophy of the muscle, and that's what makes it last longer. So if you're like, oh, I want my Botox or my injections to last longer, you're getting more and more atrophy. Ask questions in the comments below. Let's move on. So the thinner the skin, the less muscle, the thinner that muscle, because that's what Botox does, shrinks a muscle, then you get crepey skin because the skin has no support beneath it. Your under $10 solution, well, it looks just like this, and you'll see in a moment exactly how it gets rid of crepiness, and I'll put a link to the exact product in the more info section below this video. Number two, it can give you dry eye. What happens, the Botox allows your eye to become more open by stopping the muscle movement that closes it. So you get a relatively open eye, air gets into it. And remember, that's why eyelashes are so important too. They have a function of keeping some air, dirt, pollen out of it. Well, also Botox makes your eye more open, susceptible to dry eye. Number three, it can give you a blank stare, kind of that deer in the headlights look, because it affects that muscle around the eye that helps to close it. When that muscle relaxes, the eye is more wide open. Now, for some, this can be a good look, but often for others, they find they look too open. Some people say, oh, you're on drugs or something. And it gives them kind of that blank stare. And a blank stare is different than a wide open eye. Now, the female eye is by nature a wider open eye. The male eyes to be a little more closed and narrow. So there's differences in sexuality there too and what people want. But if it happens, people don't like it, it can last 3, 4, 5, 6 months or more. Now, what muscle am I talking about? You can see it here in this cross section on this diagram, how it goes right up into the lower lid. You see right here, and the lid opens and closes. And I also know that 75% of you watching this channel do not get Botox injections or want them. And I know that because of a community poll that I did this week that showed me that number, and I don't blame you. And many of you watching this channel, you don't need Botox because if you've been following me long enough, you're using collagen banking, prevention, and the things like I'm going to tell you now. And before I tell you the solution under $10, let me tell you a free one, a change I make for my patients in my clinic and send them home with nothing and they get better. What is that? Well, it's inflammation. It's inflammation education. You see, inflammation is a killer of skin, collagen, and elastin. Think about it. The eye blinks 1,000 times per hour. You therefore need elasticity. You see it in those with, say, allergies. They're always rubbing their eyes. They have a bit of redness and fluid. Same thing under the eye with aging. The skin gets thinner, red, and wrinkled. That's the effect of inflammation, most commonly from using too much retinols, glycolics, and peels. And many of you people then will say, hey, I'm losing the fat from my retinol. Retinols and retinoic acid, they don't kill your fat. The inflammation from using them too much does. So back off your actives. That's the first part of free advice for most people. You're trying to hammer it to get it better quick because you hear how good retinols and glycolics are, and they are, but not in the doses you're using. Or you're not using the right ultra moisture product to temper your actives. Now, the under $10 solution that I'm telling you today does something similar to this. It has a mechanism of action like this. Look, take your finger, put it on your lower cheek, and just push it in so it moves the fat up below your eye. Two things happen here, and the mechanism will be similar to these two things. Number one is when you push the fat up to the hollow or the area beneath the eye that you might think you have a dark circle. Number one, the light reflection from the fat that you moved up now is light reflection from fat that's, let's call it yellowish in color, as opposed to the bone that's dark in color, let's say, or the vessels. Number two, it tightens. So not only do you get a plumping effect, like putting the fat up beneath the eye, but when you tighten the skin, because we're talking crepiness today, of course you get the volumetric change from the plumping and then the tightening of the superficial skin. But there's one problem with all of this. You see, the skin here is super thin, like the back of the hands or the neck. Look at the neck here. You see the crepiness in the lower neck region that I'm showing you? That's like the under eye, and the under eye gets somewhat crepey. It has to do with the thickness of the skin. If you have that in the neck region, then or the back of the hand region, then you know what I mean. So we also need to be delicate here. We need to be delicate with the treatments that we choose for the under eye. Now, for your under $10 solution, your go-to is almond oil. Remember I talked about the free solution, which is reducing the inflammation? Well, I'll give you the first property of almond oil, but the second one, it'll even shock you more. The first property is a huge anti-inflammatory. This will prevent the decoloration and reduce the puffiness. It removes the under eye bags by reducing the fluid buildup, not unlike people with allergies get, like I aforementioned. This oil also plumps and therefore diminishes the fine lines. Now, almond oil also has lightening properties that reduce discoloration, particularly underneath the eyes. That's what you want. It's one of the most difficult things to treat, and many of you will go to a clinic or a med spa and they'll try and do a laser on you for the pigment. But lasers can turn on melanin. Melanin produces pigment. That's not what you want. So we want a natural solution like this first and foremost. Now here's the number two that I said will shock you. It has retinol in it. It contains natural, gentle retinol, vitamin A. Not just any vitamin A, but a gentle one that encourages collagen and elastin production, which in turn does what? Thickens the skin, tightens the skin, and voila, crepiness is solved. But there's more. There's a third colossal property. You see, almond oil is rich in fatty acids, and these help to deeply moisturize and nourish the skin, reducing the dryness and helping to smooth the fine lines. There's a smoothing effect here. Now remember, for oils, you always want cold pressed, organic, no scent added, all natural. Why I say cold press, some of them to extract the oil from whatever we're taking from, in this case the almond, they use chemicals. This is the product that I use and the one that I recommend. I'll link it below for you. You can study it or purchase it directly. Now, before we move on to the other treatments, there is another oil under $10 that I like. It's called grapeseed oil. And there's something specific in here that helps with dark circles, and that's the flavonoids. It's high in levels of antioxidants, including vitamin E and these flavonoids. And there's some synergistic effect that just allows grapeseed oil to help particularly with dark circles. I don't think it plumps as well as the almond oil, and you can alternate these. I have a whole video on different oils that you can use. But grapeseed also does have linoleic acid that many of you know and like. So it keeps things hydrated. And that's another one you want to consider. This is the one I use. I'll link that below as well so you can study that one. Now, if you'd rather buy a cream so you can travel with it and it has other ingredients, it could be your only go-to cream and use it on your face as well. You want creams that moisturize and plump. Think Volufiline with THD ascorbate, vitamin C. Why add the vitamin C to the Volufiline ingredient? Well, it's because you need collagen synthesis and you need vitamin C for that. And THD ascorbate in the form of vitamin C is the most stable, most potent, and that one comes from Japan. That's what I like. Helps with dysregulation of the fat pads. And you have many fat pads, superficial and deep. You can study them below the eye. That's what I would use in a cream. Now I need to tell you before we go on what never to put beneath your eyes. Number 1, Sculptra. Number 2, PLLA or Belafil. Number 3, silicone. And number 4 is Radius. Those are things you never want to place below your eyes. You also don't want to use fillers unless you absolutely need them. The number 2 solution is PRF, platelet-rich fiber, and that does require a blood draw. It's a little more expensive than, of course, almond oil. But once you get your skin and your under eye, and you plump the fat pads with PRF to the way you want them, you can use your almond oil, your sunscreen, keep things stable. You might not need to repeat this treatment for many, many years. And platelet-rich fibrin is different than PRP. I'll put a video up here that talks about the difference of the two, but essentially there's no additives. It's all natural. You spin the blood down. It forms a fibrin clot in your body. Growth factors, exosomes, stem cells, and secretomes all work as a skin booster, and it will be better than your other skin boosters that are synthetic that you can think of, like Sanico's, like if you think of Profilo, Guri, PDL. Guri is PCL, polycaprolactone, and there's also PDO liquids. So you can study those, but PRF will be the best, most natural skin boosters. The other ones are great, but most people want all natural, so I mentioned PRF. Number 3, you want to think about red light. It's safe, it's gentle, it's inexpensive given that you buy, say, a red light mask, if that's what you choose to use, and you'll have it for years and years. It comes to pennies a day. With a mask, it sits on the skin, so you know you get the exact dose, as opposed to a panel that's going to be a distance from you. So there's no work involved on your part. You only need 10 minutes 3 times a week. But it stimulates the mitochondria, the energy powerhouse of your cell. Particularly, we want the fibroblasts to be stimulated. That produces collagen and elastin. And you can travel with these things. So PRF and red light are 2 things that you're going to want to consider beyond your skincare or your almond oil. If you want to take it to the next level, just make sure that your mask or your red light source has near infrared and red. Many people erroneously believe that your near infrared is going to make your melasma brown spots worse. We haven't found that in my clinic, and many studies agree with me. You'll want to watch this video all about melasma, brown spots, and red light, about how to use it correctly, what to look for, keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.